sun began to descend, Elijah gathered the people closer. He carefully repaired the Lord's altar with 12 stones, representing the 12 tribes of Israel. He dug a trench around it and placed wood and the sacrifice on it. Then, he told the people to pour water over the offering 3 times until the trench was filled. The wood and the sacrifice were thoroughly drenched. The crowd watched in anticipation as Elijah stepped forward and prayed, "Lord, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, let it be known today that you are God in Israel and that I am your servant. Answer me, so these people will know you, Lord, our God." Immediately, fire fell from heaven, consuming the sacrifice, the wood, the stones, and even the water in the trench. The intense heat caused the people to shield their faces. Witnessing such a powerful act, the people fell on their faces and cried out, "The Lord is God! The Lord is God!" Elijah then commanded the people to seize the false prophets of Baal, and they were put to death as judgment for leading Israel astray. The land had suffered drought for years due to the people's unfaithfulness, but Elijah now climbed to the top of Mount Carmel, knelt down, and began to pray earnestly for rain. He sent his servant to look toward the sea. "Do you see anything?" Elijah asked. The servant returned and said, "There is nothing." Elijah sent him back 7 times. On the 7th time, the servant reported, "A cloud as small as a man's hand is rising from the sea." Elijah stood and told Ahab, "Go, eat and drink, for there is the sound of heavy rain." Soon the sky grew black with clouds, the wind rose, and a heavy rain began to fall. Elijah, filled with the power of the Lord, ran ahead of Ahab's chariot all the way to Jezreel. This event on Mount Carmel showed that there is only one true God. Elijah stood firm in faith, and God answered him in a miraculous way. Today, we are also called to put our trust in God alone and not be led astray by false things. If you enjoyed this story, like and share this video. Subscribe for more Bible teachings. Long ago, in the land of Persia, there lived a young Jewish woman named Esther. She was beautiful, kind, and full of wisdom. She lived with her cousin Mordecai, who had raised her as his own daughter after her parents died. Little did Esther know, God had a great plan for her life, one that would save her people from destruction. During that time, King Xerxes ruled over Persia. He was a powerful king, but one day he became angry with his queen and banished her from the palace. Seeking a new queen, he ordered a great search across the kingdom, gathering the most beautiful young women to be brought before him. Among them was Esther. Before she went to the palace, Mordecai advised Esther not to reveal that she was Jewish. She obeyed, trusting in his wisdom. Esther found favor with the king, and he chose her to be his new queen, placing a royal crown upon her head. Meanwhile, Mordecai uncovered a plot to assassinate the king. He reported it, and the conspirators were caught and executed. His good deed was recorded in the royal records, though no reward was given at the time. Now, in the king's court, there was a wicked man named Haman. He was a high official, and the king had commanded everyone to bow before him. But Mordecai refused, for he would bow to no one but God. Haman was furious and plotted to destroy not only Mordecai, but all the Jews in Persia. He deceived the king into issuing a decree that on a certain day, all Jews in the kingdom would be killed. When Mordecai heard of the decree, he tore his clothes in sorrow and sent a message to Esther. "Do not think that because you are in the palace, you will escape. If you remain silent, help will come from another place, but you and your family will perish. Who knows? Perhaps you have been made queen for such a time as this." Esther was afraid. Approaching the king without being summoned was punishable by death, unless the king extended his golden scepter. But she knew she had to act. She fasted for 3 days along with all the Jews in the city. Then, dressed in her royal robes, she went before the king. As she entered, the king saw her and was pleased. He extended his golden scepter, sparing her life. "What is your request, my queen? Even up to half the kingdom, it will be given to you." Esther invited the king and Haman to a banquet. At the feast, the king asked again what she desired. But instead of revealing her request, she invited them to another banquet the next day. That night, Haman, still enraged at Mordecai, built a gallows to have him executed. That same night, the king was unable to sleep. He asked for the royal records to be read to him and discovered that Mordecai had saved his life but had never been rewarded. The next morning, Haman arrived, planning to ask for Mordecai's execution. But before he could speak, the king asked, "What should be done for a man the king delights to honor?" Thinking the king meant him, Haman suggested a grand parade, dressing the man in royal robes and leading him on the king's horse. The king agreed and ordered Haman to do this for Mordecai. Haman obeyed in humiliation, leading his enemy through the streets in honor. That evening at Esther's second banquet, the king again asked for her request. Finally, Esther revealed, "O king, spare my life and the lives of my people. We have been sold to be destroyed." Shocked, the king asked, "Who would dare do such a thing?" Esther pointed to Haman, "This vile enemy." The king, enraged, ordered Haman to be executed on the very gallows he had built for Mordecai. Then, the king issued a new decree allowing the Jews to defend themselves. On the appointed day, they overcame their enemies, and the people of Israel were saved. Because of Esther's bravery and faith in God, an entire nation was rescued. From then on, the Jews celebrated the festival